What's going on, everybody? It's, what is it, 8:15, January 14th? Is that where we're at in this time and place, 2025? Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time visiting, welcome. If you've come back, welcome back. We are here today looking at music, like normal. And the question I had, I don't know if it was Kloop T. I've had some people asking questions about verse and chorus and writing music, so I thought today would be a good time to talk about the circle of fifths and how we write verses versus chorus, you know, something like that. Now, this is only an idea, and I know many people have multiple theories on this. So, what's going on, C Live? Good to see you. Good morning. Howdy. Yeah, the channel makes me very inquisitive on what's going on with my life and how to help everybody better. You know, that's become the point of the channel. That's become what I've been really working on. And so self-improvement is an enormous part of this, right? Because not only do I have to help everybody get better, I have to figure out ways to teach to help everybody get better. So I did a lot of studying last night. I went on a website to see maybe what others thought of music theory, right? And the wording over here on this side, the feeling, is kind of what I stole from someone's website because, you know, I'm always trying to find better ways to explain. So I borrow language from other websites and places. Online, if you just look up modal theory, the first couple websites, there were like 4 or 5 that agreed with this, that, you know, when you write music, certain chords have a sound. Bright and happy, dark and sweet would be the second. Dark and exotic would be the third for the minor. Bright and mysterious was a word I heard for Lydian. Mixolydian I heard was bright and tense. Dark and sad was Aeolian, and dissonant was Locrian. So the idea that each chord actually has a feeling attached to it, and this is before we even put it in a key. These are just the modes that I'm talking about. And what I think is the idea that these chords actually have a feeling attached sometimes will dictate what your music is going to do. So instead of me saying, hey, only write music this way, which I would never tell any of my students, you might find chords that you identify with that make you feel a very specific way, right? Sorry, I knocked that over. Okay, so if you're like, man, I really like a 3 chord, you know, like the third location, and on this guy, I'm actually in the minor. I'm in Aeolian, so that's 1, 2, 3. So a 3 chord, there it is. Got a digitone here, right? So 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this is if we were in C major, so I just picked C major really quick. But they're claiming that this chord is dark and exotic, right? Where this one's dark and sweet, and this one is bright and happy. So they all have some kind of place. Now, I went ahead and already started writing a piece of music, and I did that because I wanted to have something kind of prepared, right? So I started writing an idea. The idea that I wrote this time is fairly basic. It's like a 1, 7, 5, 6 is kind of what I've done. And so when you're listening, right, 5, 6. So the idea was 1, 7. But if this was in a minor key, which is what it is, it's secretly something else. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3. So it's actually 6, 5, 4, All right, and this is a classic line. I'm sure this is in a lot of other songs. I'm not claiming I'm the first person that wrote this. So I made C major. So if we're looking at what we're doing, C major is the key. And when I write it out, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So I write it out. And then I do my numbers, because it's like the locations. What chord? 8, 9, 11, 13. Sorry, I do that because of like jazz. And then all of a sudden, I write these are major, minor. Like, what are the chord degrees and what do they sound like? So I do this every time. And this is every key of, Western diatonic music. So when I write this, that's when this plugs into these numbers. So this is like the plug and chug. You can do this with any key. So the moment you switch keys, you write your Roman numerals, and there you have your feelings, like what they equate to. Now, what I said was the progression I wrote here was a 6, 5, 3, 4. And I did it on purpose. Like, I really wanted to kind of combine major and minor chords, because what happens is they consider the minor chords tension. Sounds like Small Town Boy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And tension and release. So your tension is usually in what they consider like a minor chord. There's some tension there, which is the first thing that I played. And then release. And then tension. So is that right? 5 or 6, 5, 3, 4. Yeah. So, that's kind of where I was trying to kind of do that. 6, 5, 3, 4. And so that easy. Now I repeated that, and I made that what I might say is the chorus first, because a lot of great musicians write like a great chorus. And I think that's where they begin their songs. I don't know if people begin songs with the verse. I think a lot of times, like, and I'm so sorry I'm going to say this, but Sweet Home Alabama, they probably wrote that first. Guys, awesome, So when Leonard Skinner's writing, and then they go to the they do that like ragtime piano. But my guess was they probably wrote the verse or the chorus first, and then they probably were like, okay, we got to write something that's going to work over top of this. All right. And so in the Elektron world, now this could be anywhere else, but I'm explaining it on these two boxes in front of y'all, that in the Elektron world, you are looking at patterns, and we're on pattern 9 right now. And these guys are talking to each other, that when I switch patterns, they both switch together. Okay. And that's MIDI control. That's program change. So I usually copy the beat that's on this one, and I copy the melodies that I've played here. I go to another pattern, which is now blank, and I paste that pattern again a second time. Right? Now the drums were all muted, so I could kind of talk, right? And now they're all unmuted. So this is actually the track I'm working on, which is 6, 5, 3, 4, right? Okay. Now, I made 2 copies in case I really wanted to mess around, right? But then, like, how do we write another part? Now, I'm going to call this the chorus, because I think it's more, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to be like chorus. And a lot of times people who are going to write a verse in professional music, they do something called modal interchange. Okay, this is the Beatles. This is, oh God, I'm just going to do it. It's like everyone does this, okay? Everybody. Because if I just kept writing in the same key, this is no joke. It's not that we're going to get bored. It's just the listener won't really have anywhere to go. Okay? And this is true. This is very true. So, in professional music, writing courses, somebody telling you about songwriting, this is something that people might not share because they consider it a secret weapon. And it is Again, modal interchange. The best YouTube channel that teaches music that I learned for, they call this a cush chord, is what they call this, okay? So if you're tired of your music being boring, kind of watch what I'm about to do, and you're going to be like, I didn't know that. I called this something else. I called this window exchange, because I've made up my own theories because I'm out of my mind. I've played music my whole life. And window exchanging is another word I use for this. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B. C is what I wrote the original piece in, or the chorus. Sorry, 7, half diminished. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to just pick a different key signature, but I'm going to start from C to C. Okay, so I'm going to make it really easy this time because all I'm going to do is pick the key of F major. So this is C major. And then I'm going to write F major down here. But I'm going to start at C. F major has B flat in it. So I'm going to do C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. Okay? And in modal interchange, I know that this is actually the 5 chord, isn't it? Because this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now if I'm going to write the verse, and I was the Beatles, this isn't a joke, I would play B flat when I would play, when I would play a B for a second in one of the chords, right? And I would treat it as the 4, I wouldn't treat it as 7. I would modally interchange the spot, okay? And you can do this a couple ways. Like, you could do something really silly, too. Like, I could throw in, instead of G major, I would play G minor, which is B flat inside of there, and it would have, like, this strange thing that, like, no one would normally do because they're stuck in this key, and they would quickly interchange a chord that supposedly doesn't belong for a second and then come back to it. So we're gonna think about this. How would I write in the modal interchange world if I was playing C major, right? It's either a 5 or a 1, so that could be played as a dominant 7th for a moment, like, meaning that's what the Beatles would do. They would play B flat as the 7th for a split second, and it would sound funky. I know Beatles, you don't think funky, but that right there. That's actually not in C. Like, when I play C, sorry. Let me find a better, sorry. It's this one. So normally you play C, it sounds like this, if we were in the key of C. But if I played a cush chord, the moment I play C, I'd play that for a second. And I think that's obla di, obla da. That's one of the chords. Yeah, dum, 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 dum. It might be, right? I'm sorry, I hear that stuff like out of my head a lot of times. But I think they did that. They played a flat a dominant 7 chord, and then they started playing in the key of C or something. They just like modally switched that. So in our song, if I decided to be like that chord real quick, or if even I decided to play G minor, and then all of a sudden I went right back into the key of C, what if that was our verse? What if we use that as that modal interchange, okay? So if I was writing, I would pick, real quick, it's really weird, I'd act like for a split second I was playing a G minor chord, which would be a 2 in the key of F. So I'm going to be like G minor, which secretly is like the 2 chord from here. I'm borrowing it. And then I'm going to play G minor, and then I'm going to play F major 7, which is this guy, the 4. So it's 2 stolen from here. It's back to here to play F. Okay. And then what if I did something really crazy, like played B flat major 7, which is the 4 again from F. So I did modal interchange there. The modal was I actually played in the key of F major, and I borrowed this chord from C major for one part. So what I have to do is I have to play G minor. Oh, sorry. Is that G? Let's see. I'm going to go here. I'm going to change it to the key of F major. Yeah. And then when I play my second chord, G, the 2, that's like the flavor in this song. Okay, so I'm going to try that out. Right? And what means in my Elektron world, I literally, because remember, I made a new sequence, and we're going to make the verse here. Right? Right? So the first chord has to be G minor inside of the key of F. So it's I'm in F major, and that means I'm going to play the 2 chord. Let's see how it goes. 3, 4, 2, 2. That's coming up. One more time. Okay, so I just play it once because I'm cheating. And then I'm going to look and play my 4 chord, which now, yeah, not there. Okay, and now I gotta switch this into a different key because, or no, did I play it wrong? I played it wrong, I'm sorry. Let me fix it. I gotta make sure I'm in the key of F when I program this. Yeah. Because we need B flat, remember? Okay, let's try it again. So I'm playing my G minor chord. And I'm gonna do it, it's coming around. Alright, and then the 4 chord, that was 2, 3, 4. Alright, and at the end of the bar, I'm going to play that 4 chord, which is this one. Right, in the middle chord, I got to play F major, so I'm switching this back to C. And I know this is crazy. This is going to sound kind of cool. F is the... I'm going to wait for it to come around. I kind of waited too long. Yeah, see? And it's cheesy as can be, but we did modal interchange there. Hopefully I didn't mute that. Yeah, let's see. That's where that other chord should be recorded. I'm sorry. Alright, so that's where we're going to do my 4 from C. Yeah, so see how that's... And then when we go back to the different pattern, it's going to be the other one I did before. Alright, so we'll hear the change, and I'll go back. The first one's in C. Right, and then the next pattern's actually kind of in F and C. And I'll do the bass line. I'll record that when we come back around. And I'm going to do the bass now. Ready? So the 2 chord is G. See if I can do that again. Bass would just follow that. So we actually wrote a chorus that's not in the same key as the verse. So that's kind of how people would write a chorus they would use modal interchange. You would use another key, and instead of being so predictable like everybody else, and all of a sudden you just play your chorus and the verse as like the same key, you're borrowing B flat to play the verse, right? Yeah, now, okay, when you get really good at writing music, you actually can do modal interchange between more than two keys. So really good people can do it in crazier ways where you're doing like 3 keys or something like that. And there are a lot of other ways to write music. The push chord method is one way to do, or the modal interchange, or what I call window exchange. The reason I called it window exchange when I was a kid was because I was acting like I was playing in C major, and then the window exchange is I would be soloing in F major. And it would make it sound real jazzy because I'm playing this B flat every once in a while that's normally not in C, as the rest of the band is playing in C major. So even if you practiced in the key of C, but you soloed as the solo instrumentalist in F major, my God, the sonic change in that is enormous, okay? And these are secrets that I don't think a lot of people share. This is something that you have to listen to a great band like Earth, Wind, and Fire, listen to the modal interchange that they borrow, and then you practice that until you're like, I'm going to do that in another key and see what happens. That's when you can learn and expand your chordal vocabulary by learning modal interchange that other bands found interesting. So I share this secret with a lot of people because what I get back when people ask me questions about modal interchange or about why I picked a chord, then I can show them like the 2 keys where I borrowed the other chord from, and then they're like, wow, I would have never thought of that. That's what makes you very unique when you play your style of music. So it took me a while to explain that. So sorry that took so long, but hopefully that is a good showing of how you write a verse and a chorus, and how you write not in the same key all the time and not what you would think is like boring music. That's how you wrote, greats wrote some of the best songs. So modal interchange is what we're talking about here. Today is, again, January 14th. It's Tuesday. It's 2025. Thanks for watching the channel. If you like the videos, please like them just because you're learning something, and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember that if you would like to hear more on ways that I write music or how other humans write music, you can always send me a comment. This came from one of the users, I think it's Kloop T, asked me, how do you write verse versus chorus? And this was just an idea to kind of show you that. Next stream I'll show another method towards this, but this is called modal interchange. If you look up push chord on YouTube, I think Studio One does an amazing presentation on it, so please go over and watch that video if you haven't already. I call it window exchange, where you're taking a window from another key and just borrowing it. The word professionally might be modal interchange if you look that up on the internet as well. So, yeah, everybody have a good day. And if anybody needs anything, shoot me a line.